Good morning, everyone. This is Brian Staines with ToloTalks. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. Welcome to ToloTalks Rod Style Actuators, Part 2, ERD and IMA today. We're going to discuss the food and beverage rod style actuators. So ToloTalks is a leader in the electric hygienic food and beverage market. As you can see on the screen here, we have our rod style electric hygienic actuators, the ERD and the IMA. We're going to break down some of these actuators today and discuss our capabilities in the food and beverage market. ToloTalks has a wide range of industrial electric rod style actuators. We're going to start off with the ERD. We have three different series of ERD electric actuators. The first here, you can see my icon, is the economic version of the ERD, which is also known as the pneumatic replacement. You have the ERD SS2 option, which is a stainless steel can here. So you'll have the stainless steel rod style, and then you have the motor in the can. You can put a servo or stepper in the can. And then you have our hygienic electric rod style actuator with the motor. You can put your stainless steel motor in the back to make it hygienic. The ERD has force capability of 7,900 pounds. You have the option to do Acme screw, ball screws, and roller screws. IP69K protection as well. The economic version has the aluminum housing versus the stainless steel housing in the stainless steel in the hygienic version. There's 6 sizes in the ERD family. So you have the ERD 10, 15, and 20 in the pneumatic replacement. Then you have the 22, 25, and the 30 in the hygienic washdown. So you'll see here, these 3 sizes here are the pneumatic replacements. The ERD 22, 25, and the 30 are the hygienic. And then you also have the stainless steel washdown in the can. Like I said earlier, you can put the motor in your servo or stepper in the can here. Forces are 7,900 pounds, roller screw, ball screw, and Acme screws. Speeds up to 60 inches a second, and stroke lengths up to 48 inches. We can get a little bit longer depending on the application. So each application is different. Depending on speed and forces, we can get a little bit longer stroke length on the ERD series if need be, depending on the application. So for you guys that do not know, ToloTalks is a stroke configurable true manufacturer. So everything that we sell is going to be stroke configurable, or everything we manufacture is going to be stroke configurable. So this is the breakdown of the ERD 10, 15, and 20, which is the pneumatic replacement. Some of the main things here is it has internal magnets. So a customer might come to you and want to put switches on the ERD. So you have the internal magnets to here, so you can move your switches, and the magnet will pick the switches up. You also have threaded rod ends. So on the 10, 15, and the 20, you have a male thread. On the 22, 25, and the 30, you have a female rod end. You do have an oversized bearing in the back of this to produce longer life and accommodate high thrust loads. Give you an example of some of the pneumatic replacements that we've done, and I'll play the video if it'll play here. So this was a grommet press. It increased process control. It was a lower cost of ownership because of the air consumption. A lot of the plants that you go in, it's a really big deal for air consumption. Air costs these companies a lot of money, so they're looking for more process control and lower cost of ownership to replace their pneumatic cost. It also gives them flexible changeovers, easy setup with our ACS drive, and it's usually a drop-in replacement, and we can do a pneumatic mode. So if you just need to go point A to point B, the ACS drive has a pneumatic mode, so you just program it to pneumatic, which is point A to point B movement. Makes it really easy to integrate. So the ERD 10, 15, and 20, the SS2 option, this is what I was speaking about earlier. So you have the can here, and you put your ACS, your stepper or servo motor in here. You also have IP69K cord grips to prevent any ingress in the rear end of the actuator as well. And anywhere you have a seal, you have Viton seals normally, depending on what caustic you're using, but usually they're Viton seals where there's any seams in the actuator. So that also makes it IP69K as well. ERD 22, 25, and 30 is the hygienic series. The main point I would say here on the hygienic series is when you're selling this product, a lot of the times if you're in a food and beverage customer, poultry plant, or things of that nature, the USDA stamp of approval. We've had that for quite some time, and it carries a lot of weight. On the stainless steel hygienic series, you see no weld seams, so everything's smooth. It prevents any bacterial growth. You also have a lubrication port here, so for maintenance purposes, it gives you easy access to re-grease with food grade lube if needed. You have your choice of a roller screw or a ball screw, and it is a 300 series stainless steel. With this non-integrated ERD, to make it USDA and IP69K, you would have to have a stainless steel motor as well. And you guys can source the motor. We can accommodate with motor adapters. All we would have to do is get a drawing of the motor. We make you an adapter plate and mount the motor for you. As you can see here on this slide, it's just an example of some of the food and beverage customers that we've been dealing with and that we currently deal with in the market. Some big names here. So we do have a lot of actuators in these facilities. So our food and beverage actuators address the three major concerns: is corrosion resistance, wash down protection, and bacterial growth. And I want to dive into these for a minute here and explain to you. The bacterial growth prevention, corrosion resistant, wash down protection, and performance flexibility is what makes Tolomatic a great choice for food and beverage customers. We'll look at the bacterial growth and the hygienic design real quick. So the hygienic design is on the exposed O-rings and the seals. So you see here to the right here, you'll see the IP69 seals with your Viton seals on that. We do get MSDS sheets, depending on the application and what it is. We'll ask for MSDS sheets to see what seal technology we do need to use. So we dive a little bit deeper into it to make sure we put the correct seals on the actuator for that application. Smooth welded seams, like I mentioned, on the actuator here. And we also use the hex fastener options, so they're hygienic fasteners so that it prevents any bacterial growth, and they're high pressure wash down fasteners. So the wash down protection, you have IP69 wash down design. The IMA series, which is the first one here, we'll talk about in a few minutes, stainless steel design with IP69 seals as well. And Tolomatic also, in our lab, we test these under 1400 PSI wash down, make sure there's no ingress of our actuators themselves. So the corrosion resistance. The actuator is designed, selected to withstand the caustic wash down. There again, with the caustic wash down, each application is different. So we would see what the caustic is and see and give it to our engineers from an MSDS sheet and see which seal technology we would use to make sure the caustic does not erode the seals. So this is the main point too on the electric actuators versus pneumatic. So performance, flexibility, and efficiency. On an electric actuator, you're going to be able to control position, accels, and decels a lot more than you would be able to on a pneumatic actuator. You get infinite position, and also utility cost savings, like I mentioned before, from an air consumption cost. It's a big deal for these plants or end users from an air consumption perspective. And changeovers and improve system flexibility. So that means like change every time it's a conveyor system or something like that, where they're having to go from a manual process to an automated process, it creates a lot more downtime, so increased productivity as well. So the advantage of the ERD are economical pneumatic replacement, like we just discussed. It's from an air consumption, from a precision, from a infinite position. It makes it a lot more, you get a lot more productivity from an electric actuator than you would the pneumatic. 300 series stainless steel options for the washdown, three screw options, roller, ball, and Acme screws. You do have an internal anti-rotate. And like I mentioned, your motor here capability. So we have motors. As a distributor, you have motors we can use, or whatever the customer specs. We just have to get the CAD drawing, and we will make you a motor adapter for that. USDA certified, IP67 and 69K washdown. So you don't have to have 69K if you just needed something that was going to be splashed with water occasionally or something like that. You could have IP67 seals in it. And there again, we do have the stainless steel SS2 option with the motor in the can. So here's an application where I think most everybody would like to see some where we've been successful and where these are sold. So volumetric piston filling. So many different applications you can use out there, from yogurt to orange juice to water to really anything filling. So the challenge here was to displace pneumatic and hand cranks with an economical electric design. Needed anti-rotate, had to be washed down, and they wanted to use a third-party Allen Bradley motor. So ToloTalks is an integrated partner with Allen Bradley. So that's also a keynote, because 75% of the United States is Allen Bradley. So we are an integrated partner with Allen Bradley. So the ToloTalks solution here was an ERD20 stainless steel with IP69K washdown anti-rotate, 300 series stainless, and you can see the white painted Allen Bradley IP69K motors on the rear end of our actuator here. And all they're doing here is pumping. So this application win here was a palletizing denester. This is actually one of my customers. Large OEM of conveyor systems and packaging machines. They were having a major problem with changeovers. And so they were doing it pneumatically. It was taking a very long time, and some of it was actually a manual process as well. They had to have Ethernet IP integration with their Allen Bradley controls. So here again, we had the ERD15 with the SS2 option. So you can see right there with our motor in the can there, made it IP69K. They had to have a bronze nut, which bronze nuts, you can do one of two things. You can, that alleviates the option for a motor. If you don't want to put a motor on the brake, or a brake on the motor, you can use a bronze nut for lack of back driving. And here's some additional ERD applications as well: volumetric filling, vertical or horizontal. And then there's a bakery machine as well, depositing machine. I'll play a little video here. You can see a horizontal axis here and a vertical axis here. This is the reverse parallel with a Allen Bradley IP69K washdown motor here. So now we'll jump into the integrated IMA series. IMA is an integrated motor actuator. So you see here, this is the standard IMA. Then you have the white painted IMA. And then our newest version of the IMA integrated is the stainless steel. We'll jump into all three of these. So with the IMA, you have four sizes: the 22, 33, the 44, and the 55. And then you have the white paint and the stainless steel. The force is 6875 pounds of force, speeds up to 52 inches a second, stroke lengths at 18 inches. And with the IMA series, your ball or roller screw options, stainless steel or white epoxy options. So this just shows you the platform basically that of the internal workings of the IMA. You have the stator windings wrapped around the outside. You have your rotary assembly here, your roller nut, which is attached to your thrust or to your roller screw, and then your thrust rod. Features and benefits of the IMA. You have the replaceable rod wiper, which is good, but the main thing here, so against our competition, is the grease port. Every customer I go into and sell IMA, they really love the ability to maintenance this actuator without having to send it back to ToloTalks or do something and take it apart themselves. So this grease port is a huge selling factor, especially against some of our competitors, XLR being one of them. You have internal bumpers, so this also is very important because of end of stroke. So if you're running to the end of stroke, you're not going to crash the actuator. More features and benefits, really. So you have the roller screw or the ball screw option here. Many different mounting options as well. Many different options for rod ends, and you can also put an internal brake on it. So with the IMA, you also have single connector or dual connector. Here you see dual connectors. We also have the ability to do single connector, which is the communications and power all in one cable. For Allen Bradley customers, that's really important. So here's a comparison of the integrated version versus the non-integrated version. You can see the compact design of the IMA versus with your motor on a reverse parallel here. If you need a compact design, you're going to need something to fit in that mold. And this actuator is going to be a lot more compact with your motor and encoder in the rear end, opposed to having to put your motor outside the rear end here or a reverse parallel mount as well. So key technical points for the IMA is skewed versus segmented stator windings. Stator windings, we'll get into that in just a second. Stator winding with low electrical time constants and standard roller screw versus inverted roller screw. So some of the other points of differentiation for ToloTalks is our quick delivery time. Our delivery time on a standard IMA is 3 weeks. We're competitively priced against our competition. We have many different mounting options, and we do flexible design modifications. So we can do certain modifications on internal brakes, manual overrides, things of that nature with the IMA, especially for me, in my area, I have a lot of defense. So they have to have manual overrides and brakes on every one of their actuators. So we're very familiarized with that as well. So electrical time constant. So the time constant is the time it takes for the current in the winding to reach 63% of its maximum rated value. So that means a low electrical time constant allows the actuator to more closely follow the command and motion profile. So if you'll look here, you'll see ours is a lot lower than the XLR, which is the GSX and the IMA look very similar, but you'll see the electrical time constants are a lot lower with ours. So what that does is it improves your dynamic moves, acceleration time, control of quick move segments, and high frequency applications. So if you're in an application for, say, a simulator with a high hertz, this will help you with high hertz vibration type applications, and it gives you high frequency application. Screw technology. So ball screws versus roller screws. So a ball screw for a longer stroke length would be a good option. But if you're doing a small stroke length with like a pressing application where you're going to hit the same point on the screw time and time again, you're going to wear those balls out on the screw. So a smaller overall contact surface area in ball screws limits the ability to absorb large loads. Well, the roller screw is completely opposite. Increased contact surface area in a roller screw allows absorption of larger loads. So, if you have a shorter stroke, higher force, roller screw is going to be your option. If you have a longer stroke length, that way you're distributing, those balls are not making the same contact point every time, you would use a ball screw. So the life and performance testing at ToloTalks. So we test our actuators extensively for the dynamic load rating. We stress test, we actuator design, validate. We do a thermal model on all of our actuators to see what the heat buildup is. And we put them in under extreme load scenarios as well. So why is the IMA a great choice for OEMs? Let's look at this: the efficient machine design, increased reliability, simple installation, long reliable life, improved force and process repeatability, and easy flexible integration. We're going to look at these 6 topics real quick. So efficient design, compact design. So there again, if you're looking for a compact design and you need to fit it into a small footprint, the IMA is the way to go. It eliminates machine matching and sizing multiple components, fewer parts for the customer, and it's very comparable size-wise to most hydraulic cylinders themselves. Increased reliability, reduces the number of components for the machine. Reduces design risk, mismatched components, elimination of wear points, such as couplings and belts. There again, you have an integrated design, so you do not have to mount a motor. You don't have to belt tension. There's always a possibility of not tensioning properly or something like that. So you will not have that risk when you have an integrated design like the IMA. There again, simple installation. The mounting and the belt tensioning could always be a problem on a non-integrated actuator. Feedback connectors, reducing wiring time, so you have single connector and dual connector. So here you see the single connector on the IMA, the standard, and then you have the single connector on the stainless steel as well. Long reliable life. So the standard roller screw and the ball screw options, you have high DLR, dynamic load rating on the roller screw. Extensive testing at ToloTalks to ensure the robust design for sure. And so these IMA actuators there's thousands of them globally in most of your major auto manufacturers on their weld guns. And the lube technology, we have the Zert fitting on the end of the rod of the actuator for easy maintenance. So there again, improved force and process repeatability. Going back to the skewed stator windings, it reduces cogging. It makes it gives you a more even move across your stroke length. You don't get a lot of jumping around. So the skewed motor winding or skewed stator windings reduces the cogging and improves your repeatability. You have a low electrical time constant, which also helps you with the high frequency, the high hertz vibration type applications. And you have a high performance stator, improves the process and cycle times. Easy flexible integration, variety of feedback connectors, easy integration with the OEMs. So when being an integrated partner with Rockwell, we do have all of the motor files for the kinetics drives, 55s, 5500s, 5700s. One mechanical design of any control for any control. Feedback controls can be changed without affecting the machine design, which is big, and eliminates the need to specify motors for each control. And here's your servos, drives that we can play with. And here's just your Rockwell. Like I said again, we have an integrated partnership with Rockwell, so you get the motor files integrated here. So to give you an example of the rod style versus the non-integrated versus the integrated, there's a huge pool of non-integrated players. We compete with all these. Well, there's a smaller pool of the integrated, and ToloTalks and obviously XLR is a major competitor, and then you have the other three here. But from an integrated, the competition is a lot less. So just a competitive comparison with the XLR versus the IMA series, and this is an interesting stat. That's why I put it on here. Is so the GTX and the GSX ratings are motor limited. Extended operation at continuous force levels may cause screw and grease to overheat, leading to early failure. So what this is I've tested personally a few times against XLR to failure, and in one application, it was a volumetric filling application. We tested against XLR to failure. The customer wanted to test to failure, and they were a big XLR customer. We ran 24-hour duty cycle with both actuators. The GSX30 series overheated and seized up. Our actuator actually kept going, even though we did liquefy the grease, because we were trying to test to failure. We liquefied the grease, and it continued to run. So this is just showing you the actuator and drive integration. So what you would need to give to a drive manufacturer to communicate back to the IMA, which would be the stator voltage. You'd need to give the motor specification, feedback devices. So you need to provide the data sheet and the part numbers below to the drive manufacturer, and obviously the correct pinout for the cabling. So here's an application win for the IMA series, and this is actually one of mine as well. Like I said, I do a ton in the barrier and the fence department, and these were always usually done hydraulically. Well, most everybody now is wanting to go electric with the barriers and defense bollards and gates of that nature, and so they're retrofitting all of these. They need fast moves. They have to have a catastrophic move of two seconds or less. And we were able to achieve this. And this is where we get into, this is where ToloTalks does a really good job in modifying some of their existing actuators. So as you see here, here's the IMA series. You had dual connectors, but you also have a manual override here. So if there was a major power outage or whatever, you had the option to take this cap off, put a electric drill on it, and make this actuator move with that manual override. So this is a big customer, ended up selling a lot more than 100,000 of those, or $100,000 worth. But compact design, we were going up against the Moog on this one. We've gone up against hydraulics a bunch with these things as well. So we were able to make their catastrophic move in 1.8 seconds, which was what they call a K12 rating. Another application win. So here goes your high hertz vibration flight simulator helicopter rotor wash. We were able to achieve this. We were competing here against XLR and Moog. So roller screw technology, IMA 44 low backlash roller screw, skewed stator windings for the high hertz frequency moves, flexibility to add special high resolution absolute encoder, and 30 IMA 33s. So here is the IMA white paint food grade. Basically the same as the standard IMA, except for the fact that you have the white epoxy and you have seals here, or the hex screws here. So high pressure wash down, 1400 psi, IP69K, Viton seals. And the IMA stainless steel. So this is their newest stainless steel or integrated stainless steel actuator on the market. 316 stainless, full hygienic. So you have a nose piece here. The good thing about this actuator is all the blue was the IP69 Viton seals, but the front nose here for maintenance, from a maintenance standpoint, can be replaced in the field. So the first thing that's going to wear out on food grade actuators are the seals. No matter what kind of seals or good seals you have, eventually they're going to wear. So instead of having to take this entire actuator out and send it back to Tolomatic, the front nose piece does pop off or unscrew, and we can send a new replacement nose for that. FDA approved, welded seams, everything is hygienic. So you'll have no bacterial growth points at all. And then application win is a volumetric piston filling. You can see here pumping viscous material, so it's pumping pie filling, compact space to fit existing pneumatic designs, internal anti-rotate, eliminate external contamination points, caustic wash down, Allen Bradley control integration. So, yep. So, at the end of the day, the ERD series that we talked about in the first part is a great new economical pneumatic replacement. It's also IP69K rated with the stainless steel can, or you can also put it in the stainless steel motor. The IMA series, integrated compact design, IP69K wash down, and then high frequency stuff that does not have to be washed down, that you can put in simulators and things of that nature.